Hi guys, so I just wanted to hop on really quick and leave you with a few helpful tips for tomorrow. I know some of you might be stressing with Thanksgiving right here about how you're going to stay on track, how you are going to avoid all the temptation. And I'm a big proponent of indulging in the sweets. You don't have to avoid temptation. It's just about understanding how to handle it in the right way. So you could use this tip for not only tomorrow, but for your future holidays coming up. So big tip is to have a kick-ass workout before you indulge. So you could utilize this not only tomorrow, but on a regular basis or on other holidays to come, birthdays, stuff like that. So what happens is when we usually eat a starchy carb, whether it's healthy or healthy or unhealthy, our body spikes in its blood sugar levels. And once our blood sugar levels raise, our insulin kicks in. And once that happens, our body is so focused on getting our blood sugar back down to a normal state that it is turning off different mechanisms or functions and systems that don't need to be turned on at that moment. And then your fat burning system shuts off so it could get the blood sugar down. Now, that's why carbs usually get a bad reputation, is because of the effect that they have. But it's just because of when you're having them that it has that effect. So a way around that is to have a great workout. And when I say great workout, I mean a resistance training session, not just cardio. Because what happens is you're going to be able to respond to those carbs, those starchy carbs, in a much better way, where you're now actually metabolizing that carb in a sense where you're using it for muscle regen, muscle regrowth, repair, and we know the more muscle we have, the more we're burning fat at rest, right? So we're not necessarily shutting those fat burning mechanisms off. We're using it as fuel, and we're using it towards our goals, our results. So that is a great tip to utilize for tomorrow. Number 2 is kind of portioning or planning out your plate properly. So I don't know about you, but on Thanksgiving, I am definitely having seconds, maybe even thirds. So I like to do it in a way where I am being smart, I am nurturing my body, but then I'm also nurturing my soul with my unhealthy treats. So my first plate is going to be split up into healthy proteins and healthy non-starchy carbs. So all of your vegetables should be on half of that plate with the protein. So whether you have turkey, ham, whatever it is. So what that's going to do is you're maximizing your protein intake. So that's going to allow you to maximize your protein intake for the day. And then you're also getting your healthy carbs in. The point of that is that you're filling up on the good stuff, right? So you still are taking care of yourself. You're still having those good foods, which we need, healthy fiber and all that. But you are filling up on that, so it leaves less room for the unhealthy stuff. Now, again, we are going to have the unhealthy stuff, but it just leaves less room for it. So if you were to just start with all of the junk food, then you're much more likely to overindulge and feel extremely guilty, feel like a gluttonous pig, and not actually maximize it while feeling good about it. So I recommend starting with your first plate as being your healthy portion, half protein, half non-starchy veggies, and then your second or your third could be the not so good stuff, right? The indulgent treats that come around once a year that you really want. And that's something that you could really take with you, where of course we know that we are going to indulge, but if we're controlling it and we are kind of planning in a way where it is controlled, but we also feel good about it, we're not going to stress about it. I always like to say maximize protein on the holidays, because there is a lot of good protein around. It doesn't necessarily have to be animal protein. It could be lentils, it could be beans, whatever it is. But maximize on protein, because when you fill up on that stuff, you leave just less room in your stomach for the unhealthy stuff. And then third tip is actually leaving your unhealthy foods for that day. So now, some of you might know your exact amount of unhealthy foods that you should be having. So people in my program, they know exactly how much food or unhealthy food they can have while still getting results. If you don't know how much unhealthy food you can have without still getting results, then my best recommendation for you is to leave the unhealthy stuff for the actual holiday. So what that means is that maybe, in your office work parties, or just in your office, not really having a party, just kind of people bringing in donuts or, cookies and baked goods and stuff, that's something that you kind of ignore so that you can have the delicious food on Thanksgiving. Leave your unhealthy food for that actual day. So we all have a certain amount of unhealthy food that we can eat and still get results. But what I'm saying is that if you don't actually know how much that is, then my best suggestion, my best advice for you is to eat clean the days around that indulgent day. And then you won't feel so guilty, because the thing is, our body processes these foods, these unhealthy foods, much differently than it processes the healthy foods, right? The unhealthy foods are broken down, so to say, since they're processed, right? So your body actually doesn't have to work as hard to digest them, which means that it's not burning while it's digesting. Whereas healthy foods, they're in their true form. So your body has to work hard in order to just break that down, metabolize, and shift into the different places it has to go. So you are actually burning calories and burning fat when you are eating healthier food. So my best advice to you is to keep or leave all of the unhealthy food for the actual day that's important to you, so that you are just maximizing your results and maximizing your unhealthy intake. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you take these tips with you to enjoy with your family. Maybe share them with your friends, but let me know how it goes. Have a happy Thanksgiving, guys.